Yeah, in terms of how we made Damaged, I wrote that tune about 2 years ago or so. The Edge and Inside came about in the last year, I think, so they're a little bit younger. But yeah, whenever I write a tune, or me and Euan write a tune, or Euan writes a tune on his own, we always work on it at mine, or I work on it on my own and whatnot, and we'll get like a demo of it made. I've got like a little home studio set up. It's not really a fucking studio, it's more like a computer with a bit of software on it, but it's good enough to be able to get some drums on it and some bass, and Luis will throw down his keys and whatever. And then we basically get them all to the point where we can listen to them in the car or headphones or whatever we want to listen to them in. And then we can decide what we want to do with them after we're happy with how they sound and the structure's right, lyrics and melody are right. And I mean, in terms of Damage, we sat on that for like 2 years, which is a pretty long time to sit on a song and not do anything with, but I guess we were sort of waiting for like the right moment. When The Edge came about, it sort of made a bit more sense for us because they both work quite nicely together. They sound even better now. That's where Oliver Shillito comes into the mix, because he takes what I make as a simple listenable demo and breathes life into it and professionalism just beyond measure. The guy's just a genius. And like when we got in the studio and recorded it, like how he just mic'd up the drums, I don't know, it might have been the room we were in, like just his whole process was just absolutely spot on, and immediately like we knew this is going to be an absolutely stellar sounding single. So he basically takes what I had in demo form, where everyone has just splashed a load of ideas onto it, and it might be a little bit mismatched and whatnot, and he just polishes it and amalgamates it into what it is now that you guys are going to be hearing. So yeah, that's the first person we worked with. And then the studios we recorded it at was called Mad Fox in Bury. Proper nice little gaff. And we did that in between the lockdowns. The guy was nice enough to let us in there. Got the drums tracked in there. And then we were able to do some guitars and keys and vocals and stuff at Oliver's home studio. He's got his own studio as well. So we sort of like dotted about a bit, but getting in the studio is my favourite thing to do. I mean, gigs is definitely up there, but I just love the amount of creativity flying around in the studio. I'm sure the other lads will probably agree. Always it goes gigs in the studio. We always chop and change. When gigs come back, I'll probably say that's the best thing. But yeah, it's great being in the studio, man, because you're just constantly thinking about creating and your music. I mean, we take it quite seriously, because me as the songwriter for this, in this instance, you know, I was taking it quite seriously because it's my art. When Euan gets on the tunes and Luis gets on the tunes and whatnot, we all kind of take, because we've got a passion for it, I don't know, we take it seriously enough to get a good product out of it, you know what I mean? Still having a laugh and whatnot, like of course, being in the studio for any band is a good laugh, because you're just in there all day, pissing about, trying things out. That's the good thing with Oliver, because whatever idea we throw towards him, he'll always bounce something back, and if he thinks it's shit, he'll just say so. Vice versa, if he throws us something that we're not keen on, there's just kind of like no holding back with it, and that's the good thing, because that's when like proper music can be made, when you're not keeping anything to yourself, and it's just all about bouncing off each other. That's why I love it personally. But yeah, going on to the meaning of the songs, so I think The Edge most notably is the one that you can tell what it's about, because it's quite literally written about sitting on a hill, like looking at a view. And I mean, the album cover lines up pretty nicely with that. That was shot up in Duckingfield. If anyone's from Duckingfield and knows where that is, go whack the tunes on and sit there. But yeah, that's literally written about being on a hill or on the edge of something, like a cliff or whatnot, and just like looking out and seeing the city, but like sitting there in a position where you're just observing, you know, you're not feeling the need to be involved. Like there's a lyric about putting your phone away and kind of just sitting in bliss and being in nature. And I mean, when I say it now, like it sounds pretty cliche, but at the time when I was writing it, that's the kind of thing I was going for, because I don't hear a lot of songs where people are sort of talking about getting away from, not kind of superficial, because like a city isn't superficial, but just kind of like getting away from day to day, like everyday life, just sort of taking a moment and looking at something. And I mean, that's reflected in the music of the song. Like it's peaceful, it's tranquil, it's euphoric, like when the fucking guitars come in and stuff like that. So like ideally I'm hoping that someone who listens to that tune will sit somewhere where they've got a view like that and will listen to the lyrics and they'll get it then. But yeah, Inside, that was written about someone that I know very closely and something that happened to them. But it's sort of the same, like Damaged, that was written about something that happened to me that's like very close to my heart, that happened in the last couple of years or a few years. And like my mates know what that song is about, the band knows what the song's about. But the key thing for me with songs like Damaged and Inside, where there's that really like personal touch to it, is I never want to tell people exactly what it's about, because the beauty of it for me is that people can take that song and give it whatever meaning they want. And that is when the best connection is formed with a song. That's when it sticks in your head for the longest amount of time as well. I remember when I was like 14 or something, or it might have been about 12, 13, whatever, and my mum was playing me the Stone Roses for the first time. I still to this day can't tell you what on earth Ian Brown is on about half the time, but you give the lyrics meaning, and then when you listen to that song, every time you hear a certain lyric or melody, it makes you feel something because you gave it a meaning. And only then is it actually kind of that close to your heart. So I don't want to tell people exactly what it's about, and I'm going to leave it sort of as an open-ended answer. Give it whatever meaning you think it can have. Maybe something's happened to you in your life that you can apply it to, or maybe nothing like that's ever happened to you and you just listen to it for what it is. It doesn't really faze me. I just want people to be able to form like a certain connection with that tune. So yeah, I'll leave that one a bit open for you, but yeah, there you go. So that's Damage.